Canadian Pacific steamship's sign is as well known to experienced travelers as the welcome mat at their own front door. It marks the gateway to ocean travel in easy comfort with excellent service, made real on the broad Atlantic by the expansive and gleaming appointments of the spacious and spotless White Empresses. Sailing day is a gay day for a White Empress. Towering over her tugs, she's a stately but happy ship as she eases her way into the clear St. Lawrence stream that will carry her to the sea. Eyes on Montreal's shoreline follow her every graceful move, while passengers wave goodbye to the watching city. Once in the channel, the Empress slips downstream quickly, off for Liverpool, 3,000 miles away. It's a unique route she'll follow, a natural arc of the Great Circle, almost 1,000 miles of it through sheltered waters. Yes, a third of her entire journey is down the sheltered path made by the picturesque St. Lawrence River. It's a path bordered by fertile farms and colorful villages, wooded shores and high-piled cliffs. Gliding smoothly downriver on their first day out, passengers can readily understand why the Way of the Empress is the 7-day comfort way to Britain and the continent. The ancient city of Quebec looms up on the colorful north shore. The history-shrouded citadel and the romantic Chateau Frontenac tower against the sky, a preview of old-world glories which await you across the sea. By the time the Empress reaches the Atlantic's open waters, passengers have had an easy 2-day course in finding their sea legs. Now, with newfound friends to share their enjoyment, they can indulge in that ultimate luxury of sea travel. That blissful awareness of being safely removed from the cares and responsibilities of the workaday world. The ship becomes a haven where for a little while space seems without limits and time stands still. But days at sea can be filled with action too. Spacious sports decks never fail to attract admirers of traditional shipboard games. Most active of all is deck tennis, with its whizzing quoits and its endless opportunities for a real energetic workout. But the reigning favorite, though it is by far the oldest, is shuffleboard, seagoing cousin of the famous shove halfpenny game that still persists in rural England's friendly pubs. No voyage would seem entirely right without its ship-wide shuffleboard tournament. It's the mid-Atlantic favorite for young and old. Everyone either plays or watches, and the whole ship enjoys the spirit of friendly rivalry, until a grand champion proves his skill and claims his reward from the ship's captain. Perhaps, too, it would not be unreasonable to regard the enjoyment of good food as a universal shipboard sport. Bouillon in the mid-morning sun, or a cup of tea on the breeze-swept deck. Who could ignore such pleasant opportunities? Or, when afternoon shadows lengthen, where's a cozier corner than the comfortable lounge at tea time? That's when the lazy day finds a lift, or the active day pauses for a fresh start. Tea time marks the halfway point in a happy, carefree day. Time then for a pause at the shop with its varied stock. Or a peek at the nursery where children find their ageless fun under careful supervision. They've had a busy day of healthy play, and they know it's time for dinner. No one needs further urging. Fresh ocean breezes sharpen appetites to a fine edge, and the chef is a genius at tempting and satisfying the most discriminating palates. 3 times a day he picks up the challenge issued by his hungry guests, and each time sends them away singing his praises. Now the graciously comfortable public rooms come into their own. Generous in size, tastefully decorated, the card room and lounges display their full attraction when night has fallen on the peaceful sea. Family groups find intimate corners for their quiet gatherings. Gayer parties form as congenial couples meet and plan their activities for the evening. Chance acquaintances ripen into lasting friendships in the happy atmosphere of the ship's self-contained community. As the carefree hours roll by, the main lounge blossoms into a lovely ballroom where laughing couples dance while the ship's orchestra plays. And this lounge is alive with cheery conversation of people who find pleasure in every day afloat, whose only regret is that their happy voyage aboard a White Empress seems all too brief. The ship, pinpointed in the dark vastness of the restless ocean, has become, for a while, the whole world, a pleasant, friendly world. As the Empress nears the end of her voyage, there is increased activity on the bridge. Constantly checking, ship's officers plot the final leg of their course through the Irish Sea to Liverpool. First sight of land across the Atlantic is the northernmost tip of Ireland with its close-lying islands. News travels fast on shipboard, and almost before the bridge lookout can report his landfall, passengers line the rail to have a look for themselves. No matter how stirring and strange the sight may be, it is always a little sad to realize that the voyage is nearly over. Just one more night aboard. Tomorrow, the Empress docks. At journey's end, the close-knit shipboard community dissolves as groups and individuals debark and prepare to go their separate ways. Yet, however sorry to see the end of a pleasant voyage, each traveler looks forward to his next adventure. With its fine statue of King George V, its vast liver building and other commercial centers, Liverpool itself offers much of interest. But most travelers see the city mainly as a stepping-off place for further journeys. Liverpool's central position does indeed make it the perfect traveler's springboard to any part of Great Britain. Slipping smoothly by train through Britain's fair green countryside, anyone with eyes to see can find for himself the rural beauties of this storied land. a cluster of cottages astride a winding road. Neat, tilled fields strewn across a carpet of fertile soil. Who, given the right, would not proudly call this home? The name Glasgow, which means dear green spot, now seems hardly to fit the ancient Clydeside city. Yet, with green glens gone and stone buildings in their place, Glaswegians still preserve their love for beauty. Fine gardens, exquisite art collections, and a superbly located university attest to that love. It persists even in the midst of the vast scurry of activity that has made the city one of immense commercial and industrial importance. Edinburgh, a scant 50 miles away, capital of Scotland, presents a different story. In spite of the plume of smoke that has given the city its affectionate nickname of Auld Reekie, it is not predominantly an industrial center. Lying in the shadow of its age-old castle, steeped in its equally ancient historical and literary associations, Edinburgh seems better suited to its more formal title, the modern Athens. Tirelessly, visitors and residents alike return to the castle's ramparts to tingle to the ghostly touch of legendary figures and to drink in the beauties of the surrounding area. Prince's Street, one of the most beautiful streets in the world, lies at the castle's very foot. And beyond, the city and the hills that rise to mark its limits. Edinburgh youngsters find entertainment more to their liking at the beach on the Firth of Forth. Innocently unaware of its grim origin, they find special pleasure in an amphibious landing craft converted into a seaside plaything. Holiday pastimes remain the same the whole world over, and Edinburgh is no exception. Yet an air of true Scottish solemnity surrounds even the happiest of official occasions, such as the renowned International Music Festival. Perhaps most famous of Edinburgh's sons is Sir Walter Scott, whose memory is honored by an imposing statue on lovely Prince's Street. The graceful outline of the monument forms a memorable vignette for departing visitors. Coming into London for the first time, travelers cannot escape the impression that they are surrounded by long, familiar memories. Here, in this vast city, are names and places engraved in hearts around the world. The liquid history of the Thames still flows beside the Mother of Parliaments. The storied streets and ancient buildings still retain their atmosphere of solid worth. It is not for newness that the traveler comes at last to London, but to drink at the very fountainhead of Anglo-Saxon tradition. Piccadilly Circus, lively whirlpool of humanity round the clock, has been called the center of the civilized world. Certainly there is no more likely place to meet by chance friends from the earth's four corners. But to loyal British subjects, there is another part of London that is a center of the world, Buckingham Palace. It is hard to walk a step in London without hearing the whispering voice of history. The faces of its people quickly change as the years slip by, but the face of London town weathers slowly and keeps its familiar smile. However far its visitors may scatter, they come back again. Who, leaving Britain behind him, has not made the resolve to return when he can? Where will he go that the sweet green countryside, the history-encrusted cities will not make their attraction felt? As long as the open sea lanes beckon, travelers will follow the wind.